Hey, hey, hey. You know what time it is.
Time for the Heart to Heart Journey to Unconditional Love podcast.
That's right. And I'm your host, Ray Boomer. That is my co-host, Harlan Brown. And Harlan Brown, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up?
What's going
What's
on?
going
What it do?
down? Hey, man, I have been enjoying this series. That's
That is
all
a
I'm
good
going to
one.
say. It has blessed me because it made me go back and think of the things that I was doing in relationship or why I had communication breakdown. And I wish I would have had a podcast like this, Heart to Heart Journey to Unconditional Love podcast, to show me the way because it would have helped me tremendously. So I'm truly blessed to be a part of this. And thank you for your wisdom and the things that you impart to the audience on this podcast. So we're going to just jump right into it. How about we just do that?
Okay, let's
Again,
do it.
your communication, good communication or communication breakdown, which one will you choose? What you
Which
got?
one? Which one
What
will
you
you
got?
choose? What you
What you
what you
got? Which
gonna
one will
do?
you choose? Which one we choose?
What you
So
gonna do?
what we started with. One, undivided attention.
Yep.
Yeah. Two, understanding. And today we about to drop them we just gonna end it really, really, really good. Number three is drum roll, please. Response.
The response.
That
That's the big
matter of
one.
fact, this should be the building block of it because how you respond lets you know what type of communication your relationship is in.
Yeah, that's true.
How you respond lets you know what type of relationship that you're in.
That's very true.
And that's just the facts of the matter. Communication can't break down if the response is in a loving and caring way. Um, well, it can. Some people might reject it, but if you open that environment up where the response is so conducive that the other person receives it well, embraces it well, takes that journey with it, because the response you gave was like a woosah to the person that was communicating with you
Right.
and wanting to get what they needed to get off of their chest,
Yeah.
off of their mind, off of their hearts. Um, it means the world. And you can just look at somebody's face when the response that you give after they communicated something to you and they just have this relief that they get me. Because you think about this, most of the times in relationships, you just want somebody to get you.
Right.
You know, I know it's hard for people to get me because I'm silly and I'm crazy and I'm always joking and I'm always playing on words and I'm just crazy. Just I like doing that. I like just being, I have a comeback for everything, and a lot of people are not used to that. A lot of people don't know how to respond to that. So it's difficult for me to find somebody because a lot of people are not as spontaneous as I am. I'll get up today and be like, yo, I'm going to California. You'd be like, what? Don't you work? Well, I work from home. So yeah, I'm going to California. You know what I mean? Just things of that nature that make you who you are.
Right.
When you get a response from somebody after they communicate it to who they tell you who they are and they get it and they understand it, you can relax. It
Right.
creates a relaxing environment. And I know I got off topic a little bit. It's still within the realms of it. But as far as the building blocks are concerned, the response is the creme de la creme of whether you're going to have good to better to great communication, or you're going to have a communication breakdown, what we call miscommunication. So I'm gonna let you talk because I love this part too. Understanding is my best, is the best that I love the best about this, but the response is kind of like that icing on the cake, but also the batter that built the cake.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy
Right.
on how it is because you have to have multiple responses for communication. And
Right.
that's why it's so, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. You have to have multiple responses. You just can't have one response in communication because it's I communicate to you and you communicate back to me, which has that flow to make where your foundation of communication is going to go. So let me get off my high horse. I'm just sad that the series is about to end, but we're going to end it with a bang. And I told you we came out banging this 2026. So go ahead, let me give you the floor because I know you're looking at me like, is he gonna let me talk?
No, I'm good. You expressing it like the way it's supposed to be. The response is very important. It lets the other person know that they've been heard and that the other person does understand and it validates their feelings. So I think the response is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
So how do we respond? Let's go with the things that we need to do. Because again, we're intentional with this. Okay. Just a quick recap. Building blocks for good to better to great communication is undivided attention. Number 2 is understanding. And number 3 is response. So under response, the first thing you want to do is stop, pause, and take a breath. I don't even know if I need to explain that one. I don't know if I need to explain that, Harlem Brown. You need to stop, pause, and take a breath before you respond.
Yeah.
Period. Because if you jump just right into a response, that means you didn't hear the person, you didn't understand what they're saying. You were thinking of your rebuttal before you really took in what that person said. So I'll let you expand on that.
Yeah.
I know
And
this is one of your favorite ones.
I'm a processor, so it takes me a little bit. So I am definitely one to stop and pause, take a breath. And I think that's just needed in order to understand, in order to just try to um connect and understand what the person is trying to say or what is really, what's actually happening. Um, Not trying to say, but what is actually happening. I think that, sometimes it's best to definitely take a breath instead of just jumping to conclusions or jumping to what you think it is. So just relax and let the person speak.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the key to the response because if you don't stop, take that pause, and take a breath, you might say something you're going to regret.
Exactly.
And that's what we're getting at. Before you do that, because a lot of times I didn't mean to say that. Oh, you said it. So yeah, you meant to say it. Because the one was on your mind and was on your heart. It was on your heart, which made it easier for it to come out your mouth because it went from your heart to your mind to your lips and it came out. So stop, pause, take a breath and just say, you know what, let me take in what this person is one talking to me about, what they are being opening up to me about so that I can communicate back to them that I do understand what they're talking about and I do have an understanding of what they want to do, where they want to go, and how they want to go about it. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So once we leave, and after we stop, pause, and take a breath, number 2 is create a safe environment. You don't want it to be toxic. You don't want yelling and screaming. You don't want to get defensive. You don't want to be on edge. You don't want to have an attitude with that person. You don't want it just because you didn't like what they said and what they were communicating. All they're doing is communicating how they feel. It's not an attack on you. It's what they are feeling. And again, feelings, nothing more than feelings. You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
have feelings, and they people want to express their feelings, and a lot of times it's not an attack on you, and you can't make your response an attack back mode and be in attack back mode. So you want to create this safe environment so that you can have a continuous flow of the dialogue so that you can get to the bottom of the issue and what you're communicating to resolve it. Not to be right, but to resolve it. So
Right.
I'm gonna get a floor to you, Harlem Brown.
I think safe environments are definitely necessary. And you have to foster those and you have to create those. You have to be able to, it's part of the hearing, it's a part of the listening, it's a part of understanding um, the emotions behind the responses, is part of all of those things, and allowing that person the freedom to be able to express that without being judged, without being um, criticized or being taken out of content. I think that when you do cultivate these safe environments, and when you do have conversations, is that's where the take that breath comes from. Like, stop for a second, take a breath, because um, a lot of times people do get on a defense, and they do come off, you know, thinking, they may come off thinking something else is being said when it's not necessarily being said. It's just somebody trying to express their feelings. And sometimes it's hard. People want to
Yeah,
express their feelings, but a lot of times they're not able to. And
yeah,
so when they get the courage enough to do so, make the environment safe and make it a space where once they get over that initial whatever to get to that safe space, that safe space remains a safe space, and it's never something that becomes unsafe, I
that's
guess.
not what I'm
So
saying. Right, right, absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna move on to the third one, and that's empathy, feelings before facts.
yeah,
It's always good that you want to give the facts. Well, it should be like this, and it's like this, and like this, like this. Empathize with the person first. They're feeling a certain way for a reason. So
yeah,
they don't want to hear the facts right now. They want you to one, acknowledge them, acknowledge that you understand what they're saying, and you empathize with them, whether you agree with them or not. See, empathy has nothing to do with being right or wrong or agreeing or disagreeing. Empathy is just saying, you know what, I respect you enough because you are my significant other, you are my spouse, you are my partner, you are the one I want to be with, you are that, and I'm gonna empathize with you. I understand how you're feeling. I may not know why you're feeling that way, or I may not understand why you're feeling that way, but I can empathize with you to show you that, I do see how you're feeling and I'm empathizing with you. I want to do anything that I can do to help you get over the feelings that you have. And you want to do this before you start naming the facts, you know. Naming the fact, well, first of all, you should have did this. And then if you would have did this, then that wouldn't have happened. And if you would have did that after you did that, then you wouldn't even be in the place that you are right now. And a person doesn't need to hear that because they're already in their feelings some way. And all you're wanting to do is, again, as you're empathizing, you've already created a safe space for them, and you want to continue that safe space to continue for you to have that communication again, that flow back and forth, because response, as we said before, back and forth. There's more than one response, because you have to have the one that's receiving and the one that's giving, and that's just how it is. You know what I mean? So, what do you think of
absolutely.
that?
Yes, please do not put facts before feelings. Understand that, whatever you communicate into somebody, they have feelings. There's feelings involved. There's feelings attached. That's why the conversation had to be had in the first place, right? To address feelings, to address um, things that are going on. So make sure that when you we all have the facts, and we all know what the facts are. That's simple. Like, that's elementary. Um,
Mhm.
but it takes a deeper look to actually recognize somebody's feelings.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Absolutely 1000%. Absolutely 1000%. So we're going to move on to the next one. Don't let past relationships dictate your response. Guilty, 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 guilty. Sometimes my response was what happened in a past relationship, and you bring it up, and that person had nothing to do with any of that. And what did you do? You created another situation. You created a communication breakdown because that person's like, yo, wait, why is she in this, or why is he in this, or why are they in this? Like, I'm talking to you about me. Well, what's all this? Like, why are we, and doing that? So, and a lot of times we hold on to things because of what hurt us. And if it looks familiar, you're going to go back to a familiar response. You're going to go back uh, um, familiar ways that you dealt with things. And
right,
you don't want to do that in this instance. Let the past be the past. See the person for who they are. They are not. I'm not to blame for previous cats.
that's true.
I'm not the one that was caused pain. You're hurting pain, and I shouldn't take the brunt of it from a previous cat of yours. So don't let past relationship dictate your response, because that'll only get you in trouble, and that'll definitely lead to communication breakdown. So
Process is this: if you have a past relationship, leave it in the past. If you still holding on to past things, then maybe that's some work that you need to do in order for you to be able to rid yourself of that. Because when you bring past relationships into a current relationship, you're just creating the past relationship all over again.
mhm.
You don't give the new person an opportunity to be themselves, because they are living in a state of whatever happened in the past, because of the reactions that they get from different conversations, or the reactions that they get from just being them and not understanding what happened in past relationships. Um, Very important to leave past in the past. And if you really truly want to be in a relationship and start fresh, start new, let the
Mhm.
person be themselves, allow the person
Mhm.
to express themselves as they express themselves. I know, especially coming into relationships where you may be, um, you've had a few relationships already, so you already have scars, and you have the things that happen that you vow that would never happen again. But just know that this new person doesn't warrant for them to be under a house arrest for not doing what somebody else
Mhm.
has done, and um,
Mhm.
not being who, just not being who the other person was, or the other people were, or whoever they're being referenced to. That's just not them. Like, I always say, my name is under, this is my name. Like, my name is not her name. My name is not the name of the person before that person, or the person before that person, or the person before that person. Just know that I'm different. Like, I'm not that. Like, if you saw similarities, I'm sorry. Maybe you should look for a different a
Yeah.
different type of
'Cause
person.
I'm a totally
I'm just
different
a
person,
different person,
totally different blood flow, totally different bloodlines, all that.
different
So
fingerprints and all of that. So,
yeah,
we gotta
absolutely.
learn. We gotta learn to let. If you want something new and you want to build something new, then let it be new and
Yeah,
discard all of the rest of it.
yeah. So this is great. I mean, this has been a blessing to me, and hopefully it's a blessing for y'all. So we're gonna go to the last thing. Close with reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the key and a great closeout. And you want to make sure that you're reassuring that person. One, you have their back. One, we can talk about anything. We created the environments that's safe so that you can do what you need to do. We've done all that. You know, we've had the building blocks to go from good to better to great communication. We see the pitfalls for communication breakdown. And we understand that from what Harlan Brown and DeLay Bloomer had to say, hey, if we look at some of this stuff, man, this is some good stuff to take back, to look at the scriptures, to understand what's going on and how you can avoid communication breakdown. But close with reassurance is, which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose good communication? Or are you going to choose communication breakdown? That's the whole thing about this whole thing about communication and where you're at with communication and how you can have better communication with your personal or spouse or significant other. When you close out that conversation, you're closing out with reassurance that, hey, we could get through anything we want to get through if we just talk it out. And we talk it out with respect, with honor, one, with undivided attention, with understanding, and with responses that are conducive to getting a safe environment, and that you understanding what that person is going through or not going through. So that's all I got to say about this. This has been a great series. Oh my God, it's over already. I'm so mad that it's over already.
Really good, really good, really good.
I'm gonna give you the last words. Any last words? You can have the last words.
Just make sure when you have these conversations and you discuss whatever it is that you're
Oh,
going to discuss.
wait. Oh my God. We got to get the scripture.
Okay.
Right. Boom. Proverbs 15:1. Can you read that for the audience? And see, I'm so excited. I don't really want to close it out, but I was just trying to wrap it up because I didn't want to just keep rambling. But here's the scripture for this, and for whenever you decide to go into communication with someone and have a conversation, you should read Proverbs 15:1. And read that for the audience for me.
Sure. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger.
Need we say more? Need we say more?
No, I guess not. No.
Silence is golden in this case, because the Proverbs 15:1 told you exactly what's going on. A gentle answer turns away wrath, which means that if you're responding gently, it turns away any wrath that could come about, any storms, any backlash, any of that. But a harsh word stirs up anger, which means you're instigating it now. You're lighting it. You're lighting that ignition. You're igniting it. You're putting a spark to it so that it can blow up in your face. And that's where you're going to get communication breakdown. So read Proverbs 15:1, understand this right here. And with all the other building blocks that we gave you in this series, if you read this scripture and use the other building blocks, you can get to a healthy, good, better, and great communication behind this. So it's been a great series for me. Go ahead, Harlan Brown. I'm going to give you the last words. I always say that, but I'm going to truly give you the last words now. I forgot the scripture last time. So what's your last words?
Hey, just when you have conversations, just make sure that both parties are understanding exactly what's being said and how it's being said and the feelings that's involved. That's all I have to say.
Hey, I couldn't end it